Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
And I'm Marlene Cuellar, and thank you for joining us this morning.
A cool morning in Belize City.
I gotta tell you.
Beautiful morning in the
city. Feels great.
I know, right?
Outside.
Wow.
This time of year. I don't know if I do it in April or September.
No. This
except
is
if it's carnival, right?
Yes, except then. And that's when a lot of everybody wants to go outside. But at the same time, then you never feel the heat around that time. But nonetheless, it is a beautiful, beautiful morning here in the city. And you can see right there in the Belize City Harbor. It's actually National Heroes and Benefactors Day. We are at the lighthouse here in Belize City. Oh my goodness. You feel that, Marlene?
I know.
You feel that?
I have always said that March is my favorite time of year.
Yeah.
And this is why, right? We got the sun up. We have all the wind coming in.
Yeah.
We'll see how cool it stays till the end of the show, but of course we are happy to have you joining us. And if you haven't stepped outside, it is a beautiful morning. We really do encourage you to do so.
Indeed, so make sure that you go on outside and savor the moment, you know. One of the things that we always do, especially in the eye-opener, there would be messages such as go outside and enjoy or bask in the ambience of what it feels like. Today is definitely one of those days. It's March 9th, and we've got a lot to showcase for you.
Let me just say, though, because I'm sure people are going to see it anyway, it is busy in this area.
Yes, it is.
There's so many people out right now who are exercising. You know, they're walking, they're running, they're riding.
Look, there are folks just doing normal, routines, and there's somebody right there in the park who's actually just doing a routine. It is best to be active, and that is what we're seeing now.
And we also see the buses lined up on the way over as they prepare for the cruise ship passengers who are going to be coming in. So if you haven't started your morning, you're late. Everybody around here is like up and going.
Everybody. There are about 2 ships in the 2 cruise ships in the harbor. I think about 2 of them.
Yeah, the tender boats are going out now.
There are 2 out there, and so we know that things are actually trying to pick up for our country when it comes to the economy and when it comes to tourism. We're going to get a first hand of that as well, and you are as well right here live on Channel 5. But as per usual, first order of duty, Marlene.
Lots buzzing.
Lots buzzing. Last night the newscast was packed with a lot of information, a lot of news. There is the crime front, of course.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of crime.
There was sports, and of course there's history. There's history, and I'd like to start there. I'd like to start with that motion being put front by Honorable Dolores Balramos Garcia, and that is to impose a posthumous pardon on the late Nora Haram. Yesterday was celebrated as International Women's Day.
Yes.
And so, you know, when I saw that and read up about it and watched the news as she gave the interview, I saw that passion. But more so, Marlene, we hear of stories of domestic abuse, domestic violence upon women on a daily basis. And this is happening every, second around the world. But let's look closer to home of the importance of trying to make sure that our mothers, our women, are properly taken care of, Mar.
Yeah. No, you know, I think it was such a fitting way to commemorate International Women's Day, and it's been something that's been called for a really long time. It requires us to dig up into history. Actually, we'll have a historian here. Maybe they'll share some insight there. But it reminds us, one, that the death penalty was used in Belize a very long time ago, and that in fact the murder that took place was really an outcome of domestic violence, and knowing all the context now allows for this move to be made. But I do want to say this. There's one nagging thought that I had as I read the cabinet brief yesterday. I do hope that we take a look at our current laws, because it's not a situation where we're necessarily implementing the death penalty, but we very often see cases because our laws are set up in a way that allow for things like provocation, you know. And when you see these types of heinous crimes happening and charges get reduced because there is some kind of narrative that comes out that says, oh, you know, the person was provoked.
Yeah.
It shows that while we are looking back and trying to correct the past wrongs, let's try to correct today's ones as well.
Yeah, because these things continue to reoccur. And you're so right in trying to correct what we've got now. It would do justice to our justice system. And of course, it would do justice for folks who were trying to protect themselves in situations like this. You know, that story of Miss Nora, the late Nora Parham, really one that, because, you know, I read up about it, really one that it touched me.
Yeah.
You know, it touched me knowing that she was a constant victim of domestic abuse, one day trying to protect herself, and in so doing, somebody met their demise.
Yeah.
And she had to meet hers because of how the laws were back in those days in 1962, 1963.
Yeah.
Really tough situation, but you're right, Marlene. At this particular point, it is time for us to correct our wrongs within the justice system.
That's right. So, of course, that's one of the stories that's been buzzing. I do want to say, of course, last night we saw Prime Minister Briceño, along with a delegation, is currently in Taiwan on an official visit. And last night, because of the time difference, it was early. It was the morning for them. They had the official welcome ceremony for him, and so that was streamed online from Taiwan. We saw the Prime Minister making an address, talking about the long-standing relationship that Belize has had and maintained with Taiwan. It was wonderful to see just kind of all the fanfare that went with it as well. We just saw a bit of that last week with the CARICOM Intersessional and the CARICOM SICA meeting.
Yes.
And seeing that on our Prime Minister was also really great to watch as well.
Really great to watch, and I'll tell you what, you know, with the relationship we share with Taiwan, we know that we both benefit from it, and to know that they honored our Prime Minister in the way in which they did, the manner in which they did yesterday, we know for a fact that there's mutual respect. Here in Belize, we know how big the Taiwanese community is, and how we, of course, as Belizeans, try to protect ourselves with them. They protect us. So to see how it was last night, or last night our time, yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening their time, yesterday morning their time, was definitely one to. It was significant. We're late indeed, but it was significant, and we continue to enjoy the allyship that we've got along with Taiwan. That's a great relationship.
Absolutely.
And that's just another story making news there. But you know, there's so much more. We know that Cabinet actually met in their session on Friday, March 4th, and there were a lot of things put forth. One of the things coming out of that, after their discussion, Cabinet gave its full support for the proposal of honor. Okay, so we mentioned that as well. We're talking here the cannabis.
I was
Cabinet gave its recommendation for the introduction of the Cannabis Control Licensing Bill 2022, and at the next sitting of the House of Representatives, the adaptation of the Cannabis Control Bill will provide for the control and licensing of cannabis industry and to establish the necessary legislation framework. Now we know that for a fact that throughout the world that is becoming one of the big things, and here in Belize we're actually moving forward in trying to get this under control.
Yeah, definitely a big step. I mean, we've been talking about it for quite a while. We've talked with the cannabis consultant that has been working along with the ministry, the minister himself. We have looked at what's happening in other countries. We've talked with professors in Jamaica that are working on their medicinal marijuana front. So this is definitely showing that there is some progress being made in Belize's place and how we utilize this industry. Now, the details are going to matter. I always say that, you know, the licensing for the cannabis industry, it's going to be, I know in conversations we've had before, they said that there has to be very stringent measures, but I hope it doesn't box out those who, let's be honest, are already involved in cultivating cannabis.
Indeed, and so to know that, you know, it will be put forth, and of course trying to get the framework to put in proper legislations and whatnot to get it controlled is definitely for a lot of people a way forward. We know that there will be some We will rebel. We know that the birds are enjoying the view as well. But at the same time,
if they're cheering or Chinese.
I don't know if we're taking over their spaces. But nonetheless, it is a motion in forward thinking Belize at this point. And that's just one of the other news out there.
Yeah, no, and I know that we're hoping to be able to kind of break that down a bit more, what that legislation for the licensing will look like, and what it will include. Because there's been talk of, the hemp industry, there's been talk of cannabis, there's been talk of medicinal marijuana. I know they always break down the whole, how much THC is in the cannabis itself. So, a step in the right direction. It's been welcome news by the community. For the most part, we do know the churches have some reservations about that, but we'll find out more soon.
We'll find out some more soon. And the next story I want to go on, Marlene, is actually one
you're really buzzing with news today. All right, tell me.
It's actually one of to try for folks to understand that you're able to overcome anything that is being put in your place.
Okay.
Look, Romeo, I think it's Romeo Escobar. Romeo is a small guy.
Yes.
Romeo had big dreams.
Romeo is tiny.
He's a tiny guy. He's a small guy, and Romeo actually applied and got accepted to be a part of the survival series that takes place all the way in Fiji. And look, this is not an easy feat, Marlene. I want to jump out of a plane because you did, and William did. I want to try it. But what this guy did is definitely something that moves me because he lived his dream. He took part in that. It happened in Fiji. He mentioned, you know what? Indeed, we didn't eat. There were many times we couldn't sleep. We braved the weather. Sometimes we didn't have water, but there was a major prize ahead of them, and he actually got through with that survival series. Ma, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, go Romeo, because I've watched Survivor. That's
not for the faint of heart.
What I do love, though, and for people who don't maybe tie it together, Romeo Escobar is behind the Miss Universe pageant. And so we've worked with him many times before as he's organized the selection of candidates and then the actual pageant itself. But I love how he tied it in as a part of the lesson that he does teach the young women who participate in the pageant and then move on to represent us on the international stage. And he says that, I think we've said this with athletes, we've said this with so many other people, there's a mental strength, a mental tenacity that's required even in something like that.
Indeed.
That there's what you think you can do, but what you can actually do is most likely more if you push past that.
Indeed.
And using that in the context of something like Survivor, man, you definitely need some mental toughness for that one.
Oh gosh, after watching all those series and watching how they have to brave things out there, why would I want to do it?
So we can make sure we have food. It's like I don't want to wait until somebody catches a fish. I don't know if I do Survivor.
But he did, and and I've got to say this.
Did you do Survivor?
I'm not sure, I'm not sure. I watched the Naked and Afraid series. I watched these things, and I know it's different.
So you're saying you would do Naked and Afraid?
I'm not sure. I think about these things like, how in the world am I going to live out there? We're out here in our forest there, and you see a different type of bug. Well, that time to get out. But he did, and I'm so happy that he actually made mention that one of the things that he tries to do with these young ladies is to motivate them to go to take that next step, go out on a limb, challenge yourself, and he actually led by example.
So we don't know how he actually did, because of course that information is embargoed until it airs, and he is going to, he's just letting us know he was a part of the experience, and we get to follow along and see a Belizean on The Survivor and on CBS, and see how he does. Yeah, he said they didn't shower, they didn't bathe, they didn't, food was hard to come by, and there are usually physical challenges tied in as well.
Then of course there is the emotional part of it where tempers would flare. So I'm anxious to see how he did.
It is reality.
And these episodes come up, I think, in May, if I'm not mistaken. But of course we'll be following up on that. All right, and that's just a.
So you want to place a bet? How far you think you got?
If I want to place on a bet, You know, Marlene, I try to place bet with you a lot, you know, but my goodness, you're a champ. And so I'm going to hold back from the bet.
Oh.
But nonetheless, a piece of the
I
pie.
will remain optimistic. I hope he makes it
and I do
to the
hope.
very end.
He seemed extremely happy, and I'm so glad that he was. I hope it was because of the big, if he even came out with a W, I'm not sure. We don't know, like you mentioned.
All right. So we got to get moving into our show
That's
for today
right.
because we do have a show lined up for you out here. We are at the Lighthouse Park with a very specific reason. We commemorate National Heroes and Benefactor Day on, the official day is March 9th, but we had the holiday on Monday.
Yeah.
But it used to be Baron Bliss Day. That's where we grew up.
That's why, yeah, and we're here.
So that's why we're here. And we're going to be talking about that. But let's get some motivation in for
Let's
today.
do it. Let's do it. And of course, the motivation taken from dailyum.com. It goes like this.
Sometimes we purposefully, though unconsciously, cut ourselves off from the flow and the embrace of humanity so we can avoid dealing with painful issues. These times of feeling disconnected from the source may occur for many reasons, but self-sabotage is the most common cause for us choosing to cut ourselves off from the flow of the universe. We purposefully, though often unconsciously, cut ourselves off from this flow and from the embrace of humanity so we can avoid dealing with painful issues, shun the necessary steps for growth, or prevent the success that we are afraid of achieving from ever happening. When you choose to disconnect from the source, you block the flow of the universe's energy from passing through you. You become like a sleepwalker who's not fully awake to life, and your hopes, plans, and dreams begin to appear as distant blurs on a faraway horizon. It's important to recognize that being disconnected from the universe is never a permanent state, and it can be reversed anytime you decide that you are ready to reconnect. When you are connected to the universe, all aspects of your being will feel alive as the flow of the universe pours through your being and into your life.
Facts. It's all factual, Marlene, because we do it, and some folks might say, you know, subconsciously we do it, but at the same time, we know why we try to make that disconnect. And for the most part, I would feel that, you know what, sometimes we try to hide away from the things that really matter. We try not to want to deal with it at that particular point, knowing that just the force from the universe will give us that oomph that we need to eventually overcome. And so for this reason, I really like how the eye-opener would sum it up, that when you're connected to the universe, all aspects of your being will feel alive as the flow of the universe pours through your being into your life. Yeah. This is factual, and I really and truly appreciate it.
I love that it talks about the connection. I'm feeling very connected this morning, I got to say that much. But, you know, I love that it talks about the connection, both the good and the bad.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's fear holding you back from achieving the success you want, or whether it's trying to prevent going through tough times. You know, there are experiences we're going to have to go through, and sometimes going right back to what we were saying with Romeo, it's that strength to push through it and realize that this is what was meant to happen.
Yeah.
And that happens even when you get paralyzed with fear of going after your dreams.
Yeah. Totally right. Sometimes that's what we need to do. Give our strength or achieve some strength from what the universe have got to offer, and you'll never know. You never know how far you will go with that push. It reminds me of a sailboat. I met a guy not too long ago, and he was going to one of the keys, and I asked him, where is your machine? He said, no, I don't need a machine. I'll just go with the force of the universe. And that pushed him all the way out and actually brought him back in. Okay. So sometimes that is what we need to do.
That's a whole different level of adventure, but yeah.
So but that's what he did.
We got to get moving into our show for today.
Yeah.
And you know, I of course do want to point out, I didn't even realize you were right in front of the Belize sign.
Right there in
Have you
front
taken
of
a photo with the Belize sign yet?
Yes, I have. Everybody.
I have not. This is my first photo.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll take a screenshot now. I'm terrible at taking photos of myself.
Oh my gosh. Everybody we know have taken a picture in front of the Belize sign because it is the Belize sign. That's the reason why. But
I'm a bit late to this game, clearly.
You are. But the weather is beautiful. We're not the professionals. We've got the professionals that will be telling us exactly what to expect throughout the day for the weather. And at this point, let's get that and take a look at the weather.
Good morning, Belize. An east to southeasterly air flow supports fair and dry conditions across the country. The 24-hour forecast for Belize and her coastal waters calls for mostly sunny skies today, and high temperatures are forecast to reach 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast to 95 inland and 82 over the mountains. Tonight, skies will be partly cloudy to clear, with low temperatures of 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast to 72 inland and 66 in the higher elevation. Little to no rainfall is expected. The winds will blow from the east to southeast at 10 to 20 knots, and the sea state will be moderate. A low tide will occur at 1 minute past 8 this morning, followed by a high at 1 minute past 2 in the afternoon. Another low occurs at 10:14 tonight, and a high at 16 minutes past 4 tomorrow morning. The sun will rise at 5 minutes past 6 this morning and set at 1 minute past 6 in the evening. The moon comes up at 10:49 this morning and set at 19 minutes past midnight. The outlook for Thursday and Thursday night is for similar weather conditions to prevail. In the sargassum forecast, there is only a small chance that a few sargassum mats will drift onto our beaches during the next few days. In the fire forecast, the risk for forest fires or hotspots will remain high over the next 24 hours. And that's your morning forecast that was prepared here at the National Meteorological Service.
All right. So now we know what to expect. And I'll tell you what, forecaster, we thank the forecaster on duty at the National Met Service for providing us with the latest on the weather. But there was another forecaster here that's giving her way of how the weather is going to be. What do you feel?
Well, I was saying I couldn't hear the weather update, but I was guessing about 10 knots, east to southeast.
East to southeast wind.
Fairly dry.
Any rain?
No. Just possibility of an isolated shower.
All right. Now you know exactly what to expect with your weather. It is that time of the morning we move on to let you know exactly what to expect with the show. And we'll be kicking things off this morning with, of course, a conversation with why we celebrate National Heroes and Benefactors Day, and more about Niche's exhibit of national heroes. So we'll be joined by those folks in the first segment this morning.
And you just saw them pull up. It has nothing to do with us. See's a crime coming out and feel like you just committed a crime. No, we're going to be talking about the Belize National Forensic Science Service. They're going to be holding their third symposium, and guess what? We're going to even be doing a demonstration as to some of the work that they do. So what happens when scenes of crime come on it? That really scared me for a moment. But yeah, they're going to be talking with us about the symposium, what people can learn, and of course the growth and the work that they've been doing for a while.
All right, so we're looking forward to that conversation. And Mara will be wrapping things up with some yoga.
With our neighbor.
Neighbor, right in the corner over there. Michelle Williams will be joining us this morning of Shanti Belize, as we'll be doing some outdoor yoga sessions. How important is yoga to life, and what are some of the poses you could do to start? So that's going to be our third segment for
you wanna do a free yoga class with us? Come on out, and you might do a few stretches.
You never know. There are a lot of people who are actually right here on the front as we speak, and so therefore this is your opportunity to check it out. We've got to take the break, no more. But just before we do, I didn't send any picture, but
birthday shout
I've got birthday shout out. I've got two very, very, very close people to me birthdays.
Is it today, or you're talking about last month's birthday?
Today. You say they accuse up me now.
Today.
Nonetheless, I'd like to say a happy birthday to somebody who's been in the media for, oh my goodness, years upon years. And that's none other than William Usher. He's a great friend of mine. You know William.
Yes, of course.
He's been in the media ever so long.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you, William. Wishing you many more. And of course, my dear friend Camille Pennell. Happy birthday, Camille. Today is her birthday as well. We're going to give them the 2 words to you. Do enjoy your very, very special day today.
There goes the mainly fair and dry. But thank you. Happy birthday to everyone else.
We're gonna
gotta
take
that
a break. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, we'll be talking about, or we'll be chit-chatting with folks from Niche and talking about National Heroes and Benefactors Day, and of course, much more. Stay with us. We're on the Outdoors today, live on 5. We'll be right back.
Life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank contactless MasterCard debit card. Introducing our standard debit and MasterCard Platinum debit cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
At Cellular World, we are more than just phones. Over the past 16 years, we have grown tremendously with 5 locations across the country. As the market demand grows, Cellular World guarantees to continuously offer our customers new and improved services.
We are your trusted source for all of your electronic needs. We carry a full line of consumer electronic products ranging from mobile devices, tablets, and even business solution products, all from brands you know and trust.
Your shopping experience is important to us. We have invested in our staff to ensure that our customers receive the best service when they shop with us in-store and online.
We know your devices are essential. Our skilled and experienced technicians work tirelessly to get your repairs done quickly so that you can have your devices working like new in no time.
We stand by our products. Shop with us knowing that your purchases are backed up by unsurpassed customer support and warranties you can rely on.
Every team has a winning lineup, and ours works diligently to ensure that we are leading the industry in Belize by providing you access to the latest innovation with customer support that you can depend on. We are Cellular World.
We have been a partner with Smart for over 10 plus years. We have a full Smart plan we use as our major driver for our business. We have a service that rolls over in that if you call one and it is busy, it rolls over to the next line. So once you call us, you can get us at any time. Before we got this Smart service, we were paying upwards of nearly $2,000 in phone bills. Since we've had our Smart service, we pay an average about $600. So we've had tremendous saving, more than 50%. For the businesses, if you want to save money, switch to Smart because it is far more cost effective and the service is excellent.
Smart continues to be innovative in bringing new technology and meaningful savings during these challenging times to businesses across Belize. Sign up for our VoIP technology or broadband packages and save more.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're live from the outdoors of Belize City, right here at the Barron Bliss Park. It's beautiful. The sun is out. We already got the forecast, so we know exactly what to expect. But the conversation we're going into marks what today is actually about, why we celebrate National Heroes and Benefactors Day, and more about Niche's exhibit of national heroes. Now, in to talk to us about it, we've got Rolando Kukum, who is a senior research officer at ISCR Niche, and of course Janelle Tillett, who is a research and education officer at the Museum of Belize Niche. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning, yeah. Good morning, Marlene.
Look at you. Look like you're having a coffee already this morning. It looks up. No, that's the look when we talk food. But once again, good morning and welcome. And let's start with the significance of today. That's exactly where I'd like to start. We know that today is actually 9th March, which is National Heroes and Benefactors Day. We celebrated it on Monday, but nonetheless, today is actually that day. Let's talk about the significance of it.
Excellent question, John. So on Monday, there was the ceremony, official ceremony with laying here at the Barron Bliss Lighthouse. Mm-hmm. Today is the actual day, 9th of March, the day that Barron Bliss passed away. Marlene was joking around earlier. What is the full name of Barron Bliss? You thought you had gotten away, John. Let's hear it.
We got a quiz. Who remembers the full name for Barron Bliss, right? So, John, you want to try?
So why everybody to watch me and understand?
Because I was quizzing.
You had the most creative solutions.
Okay, back in primary school, they used to teach us this a lot. And I'd be telling a lie if I remember, but I'll give it a try. I remember Ernest. Ernest,
Ernest is in there.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
no, but you have to give the correct name, the full name.
Okay. Well, man, Mario, man, this is tough. But I know Victor. I know. Okay.
Which one does it start with?
Victor. Oh gosh. So what is it?
It's Henry Edward Victor.
Ernest Victor.
Ernest Victor Bliss. Thank you. There you go. Great dog, guys. All right. So we need this conversation more than most. Really we can't even remember the full name from school.
Right. So Henry Edward Ernest Victor Bliss came to British Honduras in 1926. Okay. Before this, he was in the Bahamas for about 5 years, then went to Trinidad.
Okay.
The Attorney General of British Honduras told him about the fishing opportunities and experience that he could have at British Honduras. So he came here in January of 1926. I believe it was the 14th. But by the time he had gotten to British Honduras, he was already severely ill. And 2 days before his birthday, he had drafted up his will, essentially bestowing upon British Honduras a portion of his wealth to be used for infrastructure purposes. Mm-hmm. And then by March 9th, he had passed away. Many people will recall a photograph of Barron Bliss in his wheelchair because he was paralyzed at the age of 42. He was also an engineer by profession. He had inherited some wealth as well and had some business investments. And so that is where the funds come from that have helped to build various infrastructure projects across Belize, especially the town councils. Many people recall that, but very close to us, you know, and with a view right next to us, we have the Bliss Institute.
Yes.
What is now the Institute of Creative Arts. And obviously we have the iconic Barron Bliss Lighthouse. He died on March 9th, and this was where he was first buried. And it was called the Bliss Garden at the time, Bliss Park. I think now it's officially the San Cas Park. Yes. And so we are seeing the evolution of Belize through history and through landmarks that exist. Yeah. And so that's really our role at Niche as well, to make sure that information becomes accessible to students and teachers.
You know, I'm so glad you said that, because I'm sneaking, you know, you have a book here.
Right.
One of the things that we think about or talk about with Belize is that we say, oh, you know, if you want to see history, you go to a Mayan site, you may go to the museum. But there are landmarks right here within the city that we very much don't acknowledge or don't recognize are an integral part of our history. This being one, and perhaps the most iconic.
Right, you're exactly right, Marlene. And just a stone throw away from us, we also have Memorial Park, which is in commemoration of the First World War volunteers who went to World War I. And of course, there's an entire history there. I mean, the 1919 riots as well. That's an sort of not much talked about history about the World War I. And you know, so acknowledging those events is very crucial to understanding the evolution of Belize. And then, you know, if you go a step farther, you have the St. Catherine's convent. You know, and these are all historical landmarks. In fact, we have an interesting primary source material where the nuns were recording Baron Bliss' arrival, you know, and they were saying, oh, he does not have any religion, he's very ill. They thought about visiting him, but, you know, he never steps foot on Belize, you know.
On land, actually.
Yes, on land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was right there coastal.
And you move a little bit down more and you have the Museum of Belize, which was the prison at one point.
Yeah, so definitely, that's where I currently work.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
In the sense that the former life of that monument, that structure, holds the history of incarceration. And so it links back to what you spoke about earlier in this morning's pre-segment. So we have a last week jail cell there at the Museum of Belize, and we have a small biography of her case, which, as you said so rightly, her being exonerated is again another historical and monumental moment for us here in Belize, because when you look at again the background of that case, she was accused of murder of her common law husband, and he was an officer. He was a police officer.
Yeah.
In the incident, the actual what unfolded was that they were having a domestic dispute. In those days, they used to use kerosene irons.
Yeah.
And so she was kerosene, but he was the avid smoker. He went into the outhouse and lit the cigarette, lighting himself.
Wow.
Ablaze. And so what the officers came on that scene to find at that time was that she was covered in blood trying to out the flame. But it's their history as well that again convicts her. She's a woman, he's a police officer.
Yeah.
They're the only two on the scene of the crime, right? And she doesn't have a means of defense. The jury is all male, right? And so she's convicted.
Yeah.
Again, some other aspects of that have never been discussed. For example, what did it mean for the colony at the time? Because when she was executed, it's 1 year short of self-government.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. June 5th, 1963. And we become self-governed in 1964. Right? What did it mean for us as a colony to execute a woman?
Yeah.
And that was something that a lot of other colonies were hesitant to do, even though they had female convictees.
Yeah.
Right? Fast forward to modern times, it's one of the contested histories that Belize has to deal with and to rectify. So, you know, what we're now embarking upon, I guess, is a monumental moment for us.
It is. But, you know, I feel that, of course, the Museum of Belize is definitely one of our areas of Belize, of the country in a whole, that I think is underused, because people are actually able to go on in there and see the real history behind where we are, what we do, how we do. And I would like to go back to Nora's story, whereby there were 2,000 people who signed a petition for clemency to try and get her off it. But they said, you know what, no, that's not the case. That's not going to be the situation here. And that was when she met the demise.
As I said, we do, I don't think to date, I mean, we have a lot of authors and historians that have attempted to give a larger history of the country. But again, these are some of the things that we have to work out. What was the voice of the people back then? In relation to her getting a stay of execution? What may have been the fact that did we have people, or did we have locals in power? Did they have economic, social, or political power at that time? And is that a form of resistance to the penal code that was in place, not only in our territory, but throughout the Caribbean region? So
the two questions that come to mind immediately, and I don't know if you have the answers now, but one, kind of, every movement has a mover and shaker. Who were the people who were instigating for the petition and to get it signed? Kind of like the startup of or civil society and advocacy groups back then. Do we know?
Well, obviously, that's a wonderful question that brings us back to a lot of people who are, I call it Hall of Fame for heroes and benefactors. People like the Right Honorable George Price,
okay.
Antonia Sabaranes.
Those are the same people who eventually take up leadership.
Those are people that we're trying to commemorating in Heroes and Benefactors Day celebration. Earlier, myself and my colleague here, Mr. Fakam, were having this discourse about, well, what does the day mean to Belizeans today? And I said, honestly, I really think we can chalk it down to demographics. It depends on whether you're a Gen Z or a millennial or you're someone older. Each of us have a different relationship and experience of these people and their contribution to the nation.
Yes.
Right? So older folks
Indeed.
Right Honorable George Hill Price, and those values may be deeply entrenched in them and within their family values. But come on to modern times, maybe it brings us back to, again, what we talked about, the generations of maybe 25 years ago, like the La Ruta Maya, which took place. It's only 25 years old, so the people who are millennials, that celebration takes precedence on national heroes.
You're right, you're totally right.
Because that's their experience.
So that's what the day and the weekend means for them. Let me just go back to Ms. Parham for a moment. Was the petition and the call for clemency based on the domestic violence? She was a woman.
I think on many different aspects.
Okay.
Not only that she was a woman, like I said, what would it have meant at that time in the history of the Accord. As well, she was a mother of, I think, time. So again, what would that mean for them to take a mother from
children?
And all boys too. And so, yes.
And then again, the circumstances, the juries are male. Is there gender representation? Have the conclusive history of the female experience in the framework of Belizean history. Who are the more prominent female benefactors, or as you say, activists, been fighting for the rights of women and children or of families, right? That's again something that we have to embark upon in the next.
This sounds like a book that has to be worked. We can extract from you, but I love how it does tie back in that the persons who took on the role of standing up and pushing for clemency really turned out to be some of our very own national heroes. So let's bring it back full circle and talk about that. The day this March 9th transitioned from Baron Bliss Day to Heroes and Benefactors Day. And so it gives us a chance to be able to look at all our heroes and benefactors.
That's right, Marlene. The day was officially called Benefactors Day back in 2009, and then Heroes and Benefactors Day in 2010.
Okay.
And that distinction came precisely because we have local patriots who have contributed to infrastructure, but also to the culture, to history, to arts, to the political development of the society. And the government of Belize, by way of making it Heroes and Benefactors, they sought to acknowledge first our only two national heroes, the Right Honorable George Hill Price and the Honorable Philip Golson. They have received the highest order, which is the Order of National Hero.
Yes.
Besides them, there is this category called benefactors, and as you can hear, it's benefactors that is plural, meaning people who have contributed selflessly, be it financially or be it through their volunteer services, through their political activism, their cultural work, have contributed to the development of this country. And by way of this then, IFCR Niche also started an exhibition in that same year called the Heroes, Patriots and Benefactors exhibition, where we start to include in the first instances historical figures, the ones you've mentioned, so including Antonio Sobranis, but also other members of the founding members of the People's Committee, so you could think about Lee Richardson, John Smith, and more we're seeing more public spaces being called after these gentlemen and these patriots in our history, and that helps to bring public memory of what has happened in the past. And we at Niche have had this exhibition over time, visit the different houses of culture, the different libraries across the country, visited schools, and of course now we have the internet, so we also have this information available. Like,
which is great.
No one wants to remember the name of Bambles because you can easily Google search it, right?
Yeah.
Or you know, that's what we need to do as an institution now. We need to make sure information is accessible, is relevant, is concise, because students don't have the time to read an entire book. They want one pager on who Bambles is, and so those are the types of efforts.
Notes, right?
Yes. And then if you want more, you can visit our partners like the Belize Archives and Record Services in Belmopan or the National Heritage Library. You know, there's a lot of information out there, and our job at Niche is to help curate that information, help reach out to communities, and identify other persons that needs to be recognized within
Exactly
our
where I wanted
society.
to go, because what's going to happen now, or the way it's being formulated now, is for other people to actually be reckoned and to be celebrated on National Heroes and Benefactors Day. Being that we're in this era, are there people now that we'll be putting in that category?
Right. Well, as you mentioned, since there isn't a criteria yet established for benefactors, what we are doing at Niche is to say these are patriots, these are nation builders, but we're not giving them that official category of benefactors, which is something perhaps only the state can do after they establish a criteria. So for the time being, until that occurs, we are saying that these are patriots that the community are telling us they want to recognize. And so this year's exhibition, we are doing precisely that. We asked the House of Culture in Benque Viejo and the House of Culture in Orange Walk to nominate 3 to 4 persons who could be featured and added onto this exhibition, which already has about 30 personalities. And so today at the Benque Viejo House of Culture, we will be featuring Mr. Ruiz, who is an author, cultural advocate. So Mr. Nicolas Ruiz, as you know, is a famously known because of his work for Benque, but he's also been involved in cultural organizations like Cache, and has been instrumental in supporting the work of historical preservation and cultural awareness in the town. And so we will be featuring him, but also Nurse Margaret Juan, who has been featured in the region actually for her volunteerism, for her work in increasing accessibility to healthcare in the community. And we're also featuring the late the twin doctors Guerra, Drs. Kevin and Kenneth, as community icons, you know, and persons who represent something that young people should aspire for. You know, they were very much involved in sports in their community, and then to go on and do their medical degrees, it brings inspiration to our community, and then to see them lose their lives amidst the pandemic, you know, I think that's an important story.
Frontliners in the pandemic, which is sure to be a big part of our history.
Right. And so in the north, we are featuring Maximo Perez, and there's been some new research, new publication about him. If you would recall, Image Factory in 2020 produced a book along with Delmer Sib, Carmen Carrillo, and you know, Carlos Quiroz was also an illustrator in that book. But the story of Maximo Perez as the last alcalde of San Jose Yalbac, and San Jose Nuevo Palmar, that is a community they were forced to relocate by the BEC in the 1930s, right? And so this is recent history, but still recent history that has not been properly chronicled, that has not been properly analyzed. And so these are some of the personalities that we are featuring this year. Others include Ernestina Mo, who is from Caledonia, someone we work with very closely on the traditions of Carnival in northern Belize, and it's the Carnival that's celebrated in San Pedro. So it's a bit different than what most people in the city know as Carnival. It's celebrated mostly. The highlights are the 3 days before the beginning of Lent or Ash Wednesday.
Okay.
So these are persons that we want to acknowledge, and we want people to also appreciate those individuals, those great men and women in their community.
Yes.
You know, we encourage libraries, we encourage teachers to do those type of assignments whereby they can ask the students to do a small interview with someone that is elder in the community, or someone who knows the history, or someone who has done a particular fantastic work in the community, you know, and to be of inspiration for the next generation.
Indeed. I also see Philip Alvarez as well.
That's right.
As one of the names as a community builder.
Right. So Philip Alvarez is originally from St. Bite, and he moves to Orange Walk to work in the sugar industry. And there's a park that has been recognized in his honor in Orange Walk, but as a unionist and as someone who was there to support students as a justice of the peace and later a pastor, he has been acknowledged, but his history, his biography has not been told, and that is where this exhibition comes into play.
Let me chime in there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Because this is to demonstrate how the values that are instilled by people who are community builders can be generational. So I recently at the Museum of Belize, we had a platform, we used our platform back in 2020 on Garifuna settlement, during that period into this year, to provide for Garifuna youth a platform where they could talk about their identity as they began. And one of those participants was the granddaughter of Philip Alvarez. Her name is Faith Young. She's the daughter of Norma Young. Okay? So his granddaughter, right, is demonstrated within her own community in Orange Walk, right? Because I believe her title is she's the secretary of the youth club, but also of the adult group, right? So she holds a position
under the National Garifuna Council.
National Garifuna Council Orange Walk branch, right? So she's active, right, and is fully representative of that. Something, of course, which I believe is instilled in their family, right? So her grandfather is a community builder. He was willing to help people. He was a unionist. He was a justice of the peace, right? And so in the people that we are inducting into the Hall of Fame for heroes and benefactors of our country, it's essential to also understand that the average person can contribute in phenomenal ways to nation building, right? Even if it's in the development and investment in their own family, but of their immediate community, right? So when you think about safe guardianship of, again, customs and traditions, things that we've been losing, I'm so proud of somebody like Faith Young, and to be able to bring her to the forefront with the platform at the Museum of Belize, of the work that she's doing as a young person, and she's not even 25 as yet, right? So I would imagine
that's a future inductee there. That's what it is, right?
I believe so, right? It's a familial thing, right? It's intergenerational.
But you know, you said something so important, and I love that you're using different classifications, because how do we develop a nation? By developing communities.
That's right.
And so it starts just right in your own neck of the woods, and recognizing people who are community builders. It helps people, one, to build their identity in where they are and how they can contribute. But I always, you know, it's the same thing we say with television and programming. If people don't grow up seeing themselves as being capable of achieving, and seeing as in people with similar ethnicities, same background, went to the same school, then they don't know how to believe it's possible. And these community builders show those communities just that.
That's right, Marlene, and part of that work has led us through the municipalities to create these walkthrough series whereby we are looking at the different landmarks and working in partnership with communities, because we sit in an office and we can visit the archives, but if you walk out to the communities, they know their history. You know, they might not have it written down what we call formal history that's written down and cited and so on, but they have what is called oral history.
Yeah.
These are histories that are passed along from grandmother, from grandfather, you know, on a Sunday evening, discussing what used to happen.
Yeah.
And these are the histories that needs to be documented, and that's our role to encourage others to take on the initiative, but also to build that capacity.
Indeed. But you know, so while we're yeah, there we go. That's it right here. Those conversations used to be beautiful ones, by the way, and that's one of the things that I think the Gen Zs I would say, you know what, it's a heaven result, because back then that used to be the entertainment.
Swing Bridge.
But we know that time is winding down. At the same time,
Yabra Cemetery, which we drive past like it's not.
Like it's just not there. You know, people don't know necessarily read up about the significance of these landmarks in Belize City. The Mule Park, you know, the Old Market. All these things mean a lot, and they actually create who we are today as a nation.
The memory site of Paslow Building, which we learned a lot with that name change as well.
Yes.
Okay, and the vaults, which I really think that not enough people know exist, right there on Cesar Ridge Road.
The vaults.
Yeah.
On Cesar Ridge Road.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, see.
It looks like a park.
It looks like
with
a park.
fancy fence.
Right.
Right? It is a park, yeah. Yeah.
But that was quite that was the shush of the town back in the days, because it was the first time they were building a cemetery whereby it was not underground. So people were, you know, they were a bit scared. It was like people were saying, oh, the spirits will come out because they're not being buried properly. So it was not a cemetery that was very much approved by the society at the time. But the idea was to prevent the transmission of disease. Right?
All right, let's get the details now. I mean, we could keep on going because you guys are just like
very good at it. I
fueling this conversation. But let's talk about where people can see the exhibits. You mentioned the different houses of culture.
That's right. So the exhibition will launch first in Benke Viejo town this evening at 3:30 p.m.
Okay.
It will be at the Centennial Park, and we invite the general public to be there with us if you can. We will also make sure that it's recorded and available on YouTube and Facebook for those who are unable to see it. And the information will be available on our platforms and our niche website as well, to make sure that information remains accessible to students and teachers. And then next week, we're still ironing out the final details of it, but it will also launch at the Orange Walk House of Culture, the Banquitas House of Culture.
So it's going to travel a bit, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely, it's not a Heroes and Benefactors exhibit, but they're at the Museum of Belize and House of Culture.
Yeah.
You can definitely, as a general public, come in and visit us. So I just wanted to know about what we're doing currently at the museum.
Sure.
Well, in connection to the Nora Parham case, you can come in and see the last remaining jail cell and read the autobiography of Nora Parham and maybe some of the other persons executed there to get an understanding of their experience.
Yeah.
While at that monument, we currently have the enslaved exhibition on display as well, which talks about the rise and fall of slavery in Belize, considering primarily that our enslavement was based on a timber industry. And that's different than cotton in the southern United States and sugar in the Caribbean, because sugar doesn't come to Belize until the 1840s with the refugees from the caste war, right, in Yucatan. So it's another part of our history. We also currently have the Pen Caetano exhibit, the art of Pen Caetano, which represents again his evolution as an artist. When you go and see these paintings, it's so powerful because you understand that he is creating these things while he's away in Germany, right? And he just makes an annual trip to kind of immerse himself in the traditions of his culture, right? So we invite you to come and see that. What's new for us is that we're now open Sunday to Sunday, between the hours of 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and entry is free for all Belizeans on Sundays.
That's right.
So you can make it a family experience and come on a Sunday and learn more about your traditions, and perhaps, I mean, it gives you inspiration to see the ways in which we are preserving our culture today, right? I just really want to thank all of not only people that work at Niche, but really and truly the community members that we work with on a yearly basis to help preserve their different ethnic cultures, traditions, customs. We really appreciate you towards the repository of the history of this country.
And we appreciate you for the crash course on all these topics today. It has been a great conversation, really kind of bringing back the significance of this day itself and all the persons that we celebrate.
Indeed.
Thank you.
You actually brought back history because.
And now he remembers Baron Bliss's name.
Remember that now. So we're so grateful. But thank you guys for joining us this morning. And here's to wishing you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we're going to take a break while we enjoy the outdoors here in Belize City. We're going to take the break. When we come back,
let me just give people a warning, right? So if you happen to drive past the park right now, there was not an actual crime.
There's not an actual crime.
There's crime scene tape up, but there's not an actual crime. We're going to be joined by representatives of the National Forensic Science Service. They are have been doing incredible work. They're the ones who arrive on the scene and help in being able to solve cases when something goes wrong. So we're going to hear about their work, we're going to see a demonstration, and we're going to find out more about the symposium. So please, stay tuned.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Full-Tech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Todo beliceño merece tener una conexión de internet de calidad, rápida y confiable en su hogar. Para clases en línea y trabajo desde casa, es la nueva forma de vida. Diginet es el proveedor número 1 de servicio de fibra óptica, impulsando la transición digital de Belice. Y ahora nuestro servicio de Diginet es aún más accesible con nuestro nuevo plan de entrada. Por tiempo limitado, tú y tu familia pueden disfrutar de 20 megabits por segundo por solamente $49 mensuales. No más clases perdidas ni reuniones virtuales interrumpidas. Te está costando mucho tiempo y dinero. Diginet es mejor que cualquier opción de cable o servicio inalámbrico. Visita cualquier Digistore hoy y suscríbete para la conexión más rápida y confiable de Internet para el hogar en Belice. Ven a ver lo que te has estado perdiendo. El mismo servicio de fibra de alta calidad, rápido y confiable, ahora a un precio aún más bajo. Para más información, visita www.livedigi.com/Diginet. Digi, nuestra telecomunicación nacional.
Tonight we're really late.
That was so much fun since this pandemic forced us on lockdown and like my online classes have been so stressful.
Oh my god.
And I bet you're glad that you finally get out.
Yes, that's true. And that girl, you may let loose. I never did expect that from you. Oh, Melanie.
Well defended again by Beverly.
Everyone, this is a nice ball.
George the drive and the finish. Posting up Marcus Morris.
My gosh. Look like Kobe hit on real hard. My gosh, Melanie. Now you the top.
4 minutes have 7 of their 9 points.
You see why me? The married life. She can even enjoy her friends like in a peace.
Mind your business. Someday you might find a great guy too.
Exactly. Well, I still kind of have a crush on he cousin. Oh, remember the one where I danced with at the wedding?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah, well, I would have gone lockdown with he any day.
Anyways, when the gun cause enough trouble for one night, make her walk on out.
Alright.
Now I believe I have to go to that place at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. I didn't do anything wrong, James!
Hey, morning. Morning. Your friend Melanie bring this for you on the way to work? Take it. Check it. You have to be more appreciative. You got some nice friend. And remember, nothing never happened last night, right? Right?
I love you, Jack. You have to do this for you. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Your future self will thank you.
No. I need help.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, women and girls were at the highest risk of suffering domestic violence. Domestic violence involves violence between any member of the same household. It can happen to females or males, young or old. However, the evidence has shown that women and girls face the greatest risk. That risk has heightened due to the impacts of the pandemic, including job losses, mounting stress, and restrictions to movement and recreation. We can all help to combat violence against women and girls during the COVID-19 pandemic. Just like Melanie did, you can reach out to someone who is struggling and help them to find a way out. It is never easy, but together we can fight this. Belize will not be safe until its women are safe. Secure Belize.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes, and we're moving now into our second segment for the morning. Now you see these two esteemed gentlemen with me, and you might be wondering who they are and what they do. I'll tell you about that shortly, but let me remind you, this is actually from the Belize National Forensic Science Service, and they'll be discussing with us a lot that they've got going on. Of course, a little later on we'll be discussing their third symposium as well. But the National Forensic Service, what do they do? We'll be doing a demonstration, and they'll be showing us exactly how their job is done and how we get convictions. Now I've got with me Mr. Robert Henry and also Mr. Sosa in with us, and these guys, of course, they're professionals in their jobs, and primarily, how do we get to a scene, or why do we go to a scene? Exactly where I'd like to go with Mr. Sosa. So the first things first, sir. What happens first?
Well, we have to get a call from the police department. They inform us that a crime has been committed or is being committed, and we dispatch the FC, or we have mobiles, and we go over to the area. When we arrive to the area, usually the first responders are the police officers, that by the time we arrive, we have like a barrier tape that we see here.
Okay.
Not all the time, sometimes they use other mobiles or police officers
to
themselves.
barricade a
to
specific
protect
crime
the area,
area.
where
Okay.
they believe the crime has occurred, or where they're seeing visible evidences that are shooting, especially Belize City, there's a lot of casings, a lot of blood. Yeah, so they already have the experience also, they already know where basically it was, so they begin protecting that area. They cordon it off so that we arrive, we along with CIB, and then we begin the processing of the crime scene.
All right, so primarily this is a crime scene.
Yeah.
Now, the first thing we do when we get to that crime scene, we identify the spot, and thereafter? Okay, so he's got the microphone.
Yeah,
he's got the microphone. So we begin the process. What's the process?
Well, we begin to interview the first responders so that we have an idea what has occurred, because many a times, and there's one thing I want to highlight, many a times we have crime scenes and people are all over. Yeah. They want to see, and they do not understand what they're walking over the crime scene. They can be stepping on evidence, moving evidence, which can affect the crime scene investigation at the end of the day.
Yes.
So yes, we begin to interview the first responders, and sometimes we interview the victim, say for a burglary, what did the person observe different in the house.
Okay.
And once that has been established, then we begin to examine the scene.
Okay.
When we begin to examine the scene, we begin to observe different, say I had mentioned casings, cartridge casings, we see blood, probably we can see that the shooter came from this area moving down. And once that has been done, then we see what we see, the yellow markers over there. That's all the common things that we always see on the street, that we are denoting the evidence with different yellow markers. If you notice, they have metric scale so that we can have a scale on the item. Right, once those marks have been set, like Mr. Robert Henry has here, the camera, he begin to document, and that's another thing they keep seeing from us, that we are only taking photographs, but we are doing much more than photograph.
Yeah.
We are documenting the scene, general, medium range, close up, and then sometimes we do macro photograph, like in this case, we're giving you a demonstration of a macro photograph of a fingerprint.
So we know that there is actually a device there. All right. So I would, the criminal person might have used that to do his dirty work. So primarily, I was told, okay, touch it. All right, move off. I didn't rub it.
Yeah.
So, so what happens then?
Oh, once we have taken the photographs of the general medium range close up, then we need to draw a sketch plan so that we can fix that item in relation to the crime scene.
Okay.
That is done for investigation purposes, and sometimes during trial the judge would want us to recreate the scene so we can put different items out on the area, right? That's after way into trial now.
Okay.
But yes, we document it photographically, we draw a sketch plan with the scene, the items, and then you see Mr. Henry, he has his gloves on, right? We remove the item in this case because most likely we will be doing fingerprints rather than touch DNA, and sometimes we do consider touch DNA based on the item itself.
Okay.
If the item would not have, it's most likely it will not have a good fingerprint, then we consider touch DNA.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, once it's documented, then the last step of it is processing the item.
Okay.
We actually you recover the item and you take it over to an area where you can process it.
All right. So I guess that's the next move for us.
Yes.
So we're going to take the item and we're going to take it over to the processing area. And while we do that, that's another process to find out if we can get a perpetrator via that.
Yeah, fingerprints is one of the common databases we have. We do not have a DNA database, but we have an AFIX system, the automated fingerprint indexing system, where there is we have the records of people that have been convicted for different crimes or offenses, and once we have been able to recover a fingerprint, at this moment right now it's a latent fingerprint because it's not visible to the eye, so we have to enhance it so it can be visible.
How is it enhanced?
In this case we'll be using powders, but if you notice here we have different chemicals. This is crystal violet or gentian violet. This is like for tapes, the sticky side of tape. We have ninhydrin, that's for a porous surface like paper, like maybe a check or a threatening note somebody wrote. Yeah, we have amido black here. It's in the powder form. We need to mix it. That's for fingerprints in blood. And we have the wet print over there. That's for items that have been wet or are wet. Each technique has it focuses on a specific portion of the residue from the fingerprints. We have water, we have fats, we have amino acid, we have proteins. So each technique focuses on one specific area.
So in this case now, what's next with that particular item? How are we going to find
like I
what
said,
we're going to use or what we need?
Okay, we'll be using at this time conventional black powder. Sorry, he has a grey powder. So conventional grey powder. There are different kind of powder.
Okay.
You even have fluorescent powders. Like you use UV light, and it's depending on the background. Okay, he changed it to conventional black powder.
Okay.
And if you notice here, we have a very windy atmosphere, and that sometimes is an issue. Like last night, I was dealing with a shooting, and the breeze is moving the markers.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, here he is applying the powder, and that's a fiber brush, right? That ensures that the print isn't damaged. See, different ones have begun to appear.
Oh my God!
Right?
Right?
Oh my God! So
Right,
it's actually it's really coming out indeed.
Right. So now
we're following this. Okay.
We do a macro photograph. You see, we have a tripod set up here.
Okay.
Where we set up the item. So we move from non-destructive techniques to destructive techniques.
Okay.
So initially, what we are seeing here is the print that has been enhanced with black powder.
Okay.
So before we do anything, because when you lift it up, you can damage it. We will take a macro photo. Yeah, and we can use that for whatever reason that print goes missing, is damaged. We have the image of the camera, which can be run through the AFIX system.
Okay.
Right.
Great.
So once it's documented, then we will use tape and what we call backing, depending on the color of the powder, which we use black. So we'll be using a white backing to contrast the fingerprint powder.
All right, so that's exactly what he's doing now.
Yeah.
And that's going to lift the fingerprint off.
Yeah, because we apply powder on top, right? So we'll be lifting that layer of powder.
All right, so there we go. That's exactly what's going on here. And I'd like to remind you, what we did was actually a live rendition of what would take place out in the field, all right? So that's what we're seeing at this point. The fingerprint is actually being lifted. Amazing, Marlene. I've never seen it. I only see it in the TV, in the movies, and this is exactly what we have now. The fingerprint have been lifted. And now what's going to happen here?
Once it's set down on the backing, what we refer to as backing, we label the backing, we'll package that backing and secure it and forward it. Either we put it through the AFIX system or we send it over to the police fingerprint expert, Mr. Mortis, and he run it through the system. And now I want to highlight, it's not like in the movies where you just place in a fingerprint and they said, wow, it's John Doe. No, the system does not work like that. It creates a pool of candidates, and it's the person that needs to review each person to determine which one is the closest match, if any.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Wow.
So,
all right. So that's, there we go, fingerprint lifted. Fingerprint lifted, just like that.
Can you put that in the police system? Just so we can catch John in all his future crimes?
No, that would be a violation of his rights, ma'am.
There we go. Yes.
We work along with law enforcement, we respect the law.
All right, so now we know, and it has been lifted, it's right here.
Yeah.
This is actually some serious work that you guys do. And we know that the symposium, there will be a symposium, things will be happening, and we've got some more folks on our set as well. As a matter of fact, in with us we've got Jian Cho, who is the Executive Director of the Belize National Forensic Science Service, and also Alessandra Gutierrez, UNDP Planning Consultant. Guys, good morning and welcome.
Yeah.
That was amazing, yet scary, because anything can happen. And we actually saw how a crime scene can actually be deterred by other people touching it, especially those who want to flock the scene. So again, good morning, and let's jump on into this. Wow, this is great work, guys. Gian, great work. Oh, okay, so we're trying to get some microphone on. So Alessandra, you could actually talk to us about what's taking place here.
So we'll have the symposium take place on March 11th, which is this coming Friday. Up to now, we have over 300 registrants, and then this is going to be under the theme Fostering Community, Pursuing Innovation, and Instilling Confidence, the role of forensics in the justice ecosystem. So at the very moment, we are very excited. This is going to be the third Belize Forensic Science Symposium that Belize is hosting, and it's going to be an international professional conference. So very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Adam, sure.
Is it in person?
It is online.
It is online.
Via Zoom.
Yeah. So, Gian, let's step back a moment. 3 years ago, or when you had your first symposium, the idea was to be able to talk about some of the research. It's also to showcase the work and even the growth of the forensic department in Belize. Let's talk about meeting those objectives.
Okay. So good morning again.
Yeah.
As you said, we are in our third installment of a symposium. We skipped a year. Right? So it was in 2019 that we had the first event. It was born out of an initiative and a desire to communicate the work that our staff do to the public. Because, I mean, you are privileged today for a mock demonstration, but the public don't always get to see, or seldom get to see, the actual work that they do. So we wanted to find a different avenue to communicate what forensics is all about. So that's one objective, to raise awareness. The second objective is at the same time to provide some professional development opportunities for our staff and our colleagues in the justice system. And the third objective, which is also the same three objectives that have remained throughout, is to promote local and international networking and partnerships. So that's where the symposium is coming from. That's where it started. In 2019, we started with the University of Belize as our collaborating partner. Back then, we could do in-person events, so we did a 3-day in-person conference. 2 days it was at the Biltmore, and then 1 day it was at the University of Belize Jaguar Auditorium. The second installment was all virtual. It was in the middle of the pandemic. We partnered with the University of Ottawa, and now this year it's still virtual. We're still in COVID times, so we decided to stick with virtual. We're partnering with the UNDP through funding from InfoSegura and USAID from the US government. And that's where we have a consultant, Ms. Gutierrez, assisting us in the planning. The thing we want to do different this year is reach a wider audience. And up to now, I believe we have over 300 people that have registered from about 25 different countries around the world. It goes up every day. We get more and more numbers. We have up until, I'd say, Thursday for people to register to see what this year's symposium is all about. Something else we're doing different this year is Spanish interpretation, simultaneous English-Spanish interpretation, because we have a lot of colleagues in Central America and our partner SICA countries in Latin America that want to participate, and so we've added that additional feature this year.
On the flyer, we have seen a lot of speakers. So there are a number of speakers, simply meaning that there are a number of things that will be targeted. Let's talk about how that's going to be in place, and what are the things that will be targeting in this symposium?
So in this symposium, basically we have 4 blocks. The first one will target the end of the theme, which is the role of forensics in the justice ecosystem. The second one was going to target the first factor, which is fostering community, in which we're going to be talking about the importance of partnerships, both locally and internationally, with different forensic stakeholders. Then the third block is going to entail the second part, or the second factor, which is pursuing innovation. And science, forensic science is an ever-growing field.
It is, indeed.
Throughout the years, we need to be able to adapt to change. And so through this symposium, for example, we're able to learn from our colleagues internationally, as well as our locals are able to provide insight from what we're able to offer here in Belize, and just learn. And then the third factor is, or the fourth block is going to be talking about the third factor, which is instilling confidence. In this, we're talking about how important it is to make the public and our stakeholders as well build trust in the system, the forensic system. And then all of these factors tie in together to help forensic science and play its role in the bigger sector, which is the justice sector.
This morning's demonstration, because you talk about building trust, and a part of that is just understanding. And when people understand just the delicate nature of the work that's being done, that a footprint could have made a difference this morning. And that was really just one item they were focusing on. It helps people to understand why they will trust that this area needs to be preserved, and that the work being done over a very long period of time is meant to be able to contribute towards the case itself. But let me come back to the symposium. The interest, is it primarily persons who are law enforcement and involved in forensics?
But we've gotten interest from a wide variety of stakeholders. It's targeted at professionals in the justice system, so judicial officers, judges, magistrates, prosecutors, attorneys. We haven't had in the past 2 symposia a lot of private criminal defense attorneys. We need to reach that population as well.
Why?
Because forensics or forensic science service does not serve only the prosecution, right? We don't serve either side. We're supposed to be objective. Our evidence can be used by either defense or prosecution. The evidence and the reports that we produce, that our department is relied on in the courts, serves the court, not any particular side. So that's why I say it's important for the defense attorney, the Bar Association, to be able to tap into these events like this for continuing professional development. We actually have the symposia last year, or the second symposium, and this one will be accredited for continuing professional development credits from the University of Ottawa. Right? So it is attracted, or it is geared towards professionals. However, we have a lot of interest from students, from the general public, and it's open registration. You still have to register, we still have to screen to make sure that your information that you provide is accurate. But we won't deny, John public to come in and just view this and learn, develop their
CSI junkies who just want to know what the real world is like.
Yeah, and that's an important part because it's fiction. On those crime shows is not always in reality.
The case, yeah.
But a big part of it too, we just want to showcase Belize. We have 4 Belizean speakers. The Chief Justice, Honorable Michelle Arana, will be speaking. Will be giving the first talk. We have 3 staff members from the forensic department in Belize that will be giving talks as well. But we also want to showcase our work that we do. I mean, such as my staff this morning, they have combined 36 years of crime scene experience. Right? So we have a lot to showcase to the world, to our partners in the region, and so that's why we have international speakers as well. So we can attract an international audience.
And Alessandra, I know you're putting in the work as the planner behind the scenes, but I also understand that you recently graduated with your degree in forensics as well. What's the interest for you?
So that's a really good question. I found my interest back in St. John's Junior College. I was always a science junkie, so I was wondering what am I going to do with my career in science. And I always had a love for science, and then I also had a passion for justice. So I said, what field is going to be able to combine both of them? And that's when I did research, and then I found forensic science, and I haven't looked back since. And I graduated in 2019 from St. Louis University with the Bachelor's in Forensic Science.
Wow, congratulations to you.
Thank
so
you.
we do see more interest now with people entering the field.
Yes, more and more young Belizeans. We take interns from time to time from St. John's College, from the University of Belize. We kind of slowed down during the pandemic, but something I want to take on. Of course. To expose students to the science, the forensic science discipline. But also there's a lot of useful contributions that interns can provide, especially at undergraduate level, to the work that we do, such as method validation. It's not a science where you do research, right? And so to have students assist where their university does research. For instance, we wanted to partner with some of the local institutions on forensic anthropology. We have a lot of missing person, John Doe's, Jane Doe's human remains, and we want to try to catalog those. And there are some institutions such as Galen and Belize that have a forensic anthropology course, where we want to partner more and more with these academic institutions. So there is a mutually symbiotic relationship, if I can use some science jargon here, between the forensic department and the universities in Belize. But yes, we see more and more young people entering the field. It's a field that we need to develop in Belize. Eyewitness testimony is crucial in many cases, but when there is no eyewitness, you need scientific evidence. And so we need to ensure that we have a supply of human talent, of human resources long into the future. And so having young people go abroad, come back, and pursue careers in forensic science is a crucial part of sustainability.
Young female.
Yes.
And I really and truly, that's the reason, one of my biggest reasons for your kudos, for the fact that you're a young female who actually venturing now into such career. Partnership is very important. This third symposium that we're about to hold actually garner international or national and international interest. How important it is for us to have those kinds of ties with our Caribbean, of course, Central American countries.
Crucial. We can't survive without. The training that you saw my staff demonstrate this morning is both on the job, but we got a huge amount of training through the INL CARSA program of the U.S. Embassy that We provide the crime scene response vehicles. So, I mean, that's just one example where we need such international bilateral and multilateral partnerships, such as the partnership with UNDP. Forensic science can't survive in a vacuum, can't exist in a vacuum. You won't do quality forensic work if you remain locked in a vacuum, because you need peer review, you need external source of information, external collaboration as well. So it's extremely crucial. Going back to your previous point, if I can just continue plug for, yesterday was International Women's Day.
Yes.
We had 2 male staff there, yes, but 40% or so of our staff are female, are women. So 40% of our staff are women. Within the past year, I think we hired 6 individuals, 6 new staff. 50% of those were women. Right? So,
nice.
So we do try to ensure that there's gender equality and gender equity in the human resource aspect of our department.
Yeah.
I love it.
Now, let's come back for a moment, though, because, you know, the symposium gives the opportunity for you to share experiences with those in the region and the international participants. But you said something important. It's also to show Belizeans just how much we have grown when it comes to this particular service. I know that we're very harsh and critical about what we don't have. People will still ask, I'm sure right now, where's the DNA lab? But there are some markers that shows the growth and the development of the service itself. I know we even have cases that have been resolved just based on forensics alone.
Yeah, so I'm actually giving a talk on Friday, so if you want to hear more, you can assessing the impact of forensic science and forensic medicine within the Belizean justice system. Okay. Because yes, there's that aspect where reports are tendered as evidence into the courts. That's just one aspect of how forensic contributes. So daily law enforcement activities, regulatory activities, identifying human remains that do not necessarily go to court. Our medical examiners are the ones that investigate sudden unexplained deaths at home. Majority of the cases that they take on, last year we had about around 550 autopsies. Almost half of that was from sudden death cases. Wow. So a lot of forensic medical examiner work, just use that example.
And just for our viewers, sudden death means that it wasn't in a hospital.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It's, there's no clinical history.
Yes.
Okay. But it still needs to be examined by a forensic specialist to rule out any criminal suspicion. Yeah. Right? So there's criminal suspicious cases, and then there's sudden death cases. There's also the accidental cases that our medical examiners handle. And so that another talk that one of my staff will be giving, one of the medical examiners, is investigating deaths, medical legal death investigations during the time of the pandemic, when you had, unfortunately, a lot of individuals dying with COVID and dying from COVID, and the medical examiner had to make that distinction. Was this death due to COVID, or was it the person, their death due to other causes, and they just so happened to test positive with COVID?
Yeah. One of those flagship cases was the Danny Mason case.
Yes, and the Chief Justice will be giving her opening remarks, her opening presentation, focusing on how forensic evidence has assisted the criminal justice system in Belize. And I believe she'll be doing a couple cases, and the Mason case is one case that she'll use as an example. Because forensics, both the traditional, if I can call that, what our department does, fingerprinting, DNA. Well, we don't do DNA in Belize, but our crime scene technicians are the ones that collect the evidence. They search, they detect, they collect, or serologists at the lab prepare the evidence and send it out. DNA was crucial in that case, but digital forensics, which police falls under the mandate of the police department, was crucial in that case.
I think the public buy-in is definitely one of the things for this, because people might see otherwise, which of course deters the job that you guys are actually doing there. Going back to the symposium, when does it start, and who again is allowed to be a part of it?
So it's this coming Friday, March 11th.
And it starts at 8 a.m. up until 4 p.m. And then we are basically inviting, it is geared towards forensic professionals, you know, in the forensic, medical, judicial, law enforcement, academic practitioners. But then for people who also want to learn more about forensics and what it is that we do in Belize and even internationally, they're able to register. And we do have our registration link in a QR code linked onto our agenda that is posted on the Belize National Forensic Science Service page on Facebook.
Okay. Is there a fee to attend the symposium?
There is no fee. It is a free registration.
So to listen to his talk.
Yes. There's a great plug there. You just signed up.
Well, yeah, we do have 10 international presenters talking on a fascinating range of topics. So
what are you looking forward to?
I am looking forward to the continued strengthening of existing partnerships, but we're also forming new partnerships through the symposium. We try to capitalize on some of the momentum geared towards it. And one example, we have a representative from the Association of Forensic Nursing, which is based in the USA. Forensic nursing is lacking in Belize. A lot of our medical legal forms and medical legal reports are filled out by medical practitioners. But in other jurisdictions, there's a critical role for forensic nurse examiners. They used to call them sexual assault nurse examiners, but they're branched out to just forensic nursing in general. And it's a huge benefit to have such specialized nurses within your system to assist domestic violence cases, sexual assault cases, you know, gender-based violence, intimate partner violence. So right following the symposium, I think it's next week, we have actually set up a virtual meeting with that organization and our Ministry of Health here in Belize, Council of Nursing, the University of Belize, Domestic Violence Unit, and Forensics to see how we can work towards eventually incorporating specialist nurses or other medical professionals within the health system to do clinical forensic medicine.
Wow, this is deep. This is more than expected because there's so much to the job that you guys do. But I'll tell you what, it was great having you. We've learned a lot, and we're definitely looking to this symposium as well, which of course will definitely help us as we move forward as a country. Gian Cho and Alessandra Gutierrez, thank you guys for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
All right. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, of course, Michelle Williams is here. She blade right up already, enjoying the weather. Of course, Dre is here as well as we talk about Shanti and showing you some early morning yoga pose. Huh? That's when we come back. Outdoors, Belize City, live on 5. We'll be back.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "Now it is time to forgive him and comfort him. Otherwise, he may become so bitter and discouraged that he won't be able to recover. Please show him now that you still do love him very much." I often think that some people take greater delight in facing someone with their sins than they do in forgiving them for their sins. The Apostle Paul faced this problem at Corinth. The church had properly punished an offender, but wanted to keep on punishing him. Paul reminded them that if they did not stop, that they would so discourage the fallen brother that he would never be able to recover. In 2009, Governor Mark Stanford of South Carolina showed great and grave disrespect for his wife, his sons, and the people of South Carolina through an act of infidelity with a woman in Argentina. When faced with his sins, his wife's ultimate response was more than charitable and Christian. She said, "The real issue now is one of forgiveness. I am willing to forgive Mark for his actions. We have been deeply disappointed and even angry at Mark. But the Bible says, in your anger, do not sin." This speaks of the essence of forgiveness. My forgiveness is essential for us to move on with our lives with peace. Desmond Tutu said, "Forgiveness is a grace by which you enable the other person to get up and get up with dignity to begin anew." So today, if you're dealing with someone who has sinned and repented, then forgive them and please let them up. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
Bundle the fastest, most reliable, unlimited broadband in Belize with your prepaid or postpaid mobile plan or Netflix. You can bundle your broadband with your prepaid and enjoy 50% off all national calls, plus get SMS and data. Paid plans? Then bundle with any speed and pay only $25 extra monthly to enjoy unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 500 minutes, plus 6,300 megabytes of data. Stream unlimited HD movies and TV shows with our broadband, plus the Netflix add-on for only $30 monthly, and enjoy streaming on your laptop, TV, phone, or tablet. Visit a smart showroom near you to sign up or upgrade to the bundle that's right for you. Smart, bringing people together.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
So stay tuned. Thanks, Jen. Hey there, we know you have to head out to work shortly, but don't forget that you can stay tuned by watching us on our Facebook live stream. Find us at Open Your Eyes BC, and you can continue watching there. You can also download Facebook Watch on your streaming device, and you can watch at your own convenience.
And for all the behind-the-scenes fun, follow us on Instagram at OYE Belize. So,
find us
and follow us
today.
And welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're moving now into our third segment for the morning. Michelle William is in with us. Om Shanti. It's all about yoga this morning. Michelle, good morning and welcome.
Good morning and welcome too. And thank you for the invitation to share what I love. So this morning, like I was explaining to you off camera, we'll be doing a short breath work technique called, it's actually a kriya called breath of light.
Yeah.
And it's very simple, anyone can do it, and it can really invoke uplifting of mood.
Okay.
It helps with lung capacity, it helps with the control of breath, and it's also like a meditation, so it also helps with focus and concentration.
Okay.
Okay? So we want to sit nice and tall. Ideally, acknowledge the two sit bones either side of your tailbones and root yourself down. This is going to provide you a solid foundation for your centering. And then from your belly button up.
So you do like a little wiggle to get properly situated.
Yeah. And if you need to like lengthen through the spine, reach through the crown. From the nostrils, take a nice deep breath in and rotate the shoulders up, back and down, really expanding through the lungs and through the heart. Bring your hands to your heart in Namaskar Mudra, and we'll open up by chanting 3 Oms. Inhale. I invite you now to keep your eyes closed. Release your hands and place them on your thighs or your knees. Take a few moments here to become comfortable of the body. And now we'll begin a breath work called Breath of Light. It's very simple, keeping your eyes closed. You'll first bring your awareness to the base of your spine, to your tailbone. And then through the nostrils, you'll sip in 7 sips of air. There's no exhale, just 7 sips. You can visualize golden light rising up your spine. On the 7th sip, you'll hold the breath for as long as you comfortably can. And then you'll exhale with 1 complete exhale from the nostrils, bringing your awareness back to the base of your spine. I'll do a couple cycles with you, and then you do at your own pace, following the rising of the golden light, holding the breath, and then exhale 1 complete exhale. Let's begin. Hold. Exhale. Bringing your awareness back to the base of your spine. Again, 7 sips, following the golden light as it rises. Hold. And then exhale. Carry on now at your own pace, 7 sips. cycles, please. Exhale completely. Breathe normally from the nostrils. Take a nice deep breath in. And then on the exhale, allow your eyelids to softly open and come back into this beautiful natural space. Good. So,
how you doing, John?
Love it. I love it.
It's such a beautiful practice. You do 5 minutes in the morning, you said. Okay, so Marlene was telling me that you guys, you wanted to do something that will help you, seeing that you're at the desk all day. And so I'll do a full routine that you can do that's very simple, and then we'll do our sun salutation. Okay. So first, let's extend out the arms and spread the fingers wide. Inhale deep from the nostrils. Exhale, bring the fingers in tight. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bringing it tight. Keep it here. And now circle from the wrist, just the wrist. Inhale. Exhale. Remember, with each breath, you're mindfully breathing. So as you breathe, try to synchronize it with your movement. Other direction. Really good to lubricate the wrists. Inhale, take the fingers up towards the heaven. And then exhale towards earth. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last time, inhale up. Exhale down. Good. Turn the palms up and we'll work now on our elbows. Keep the arms straight. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, keep it on the shoulders, and now we're going to kiss the elbows and kiss the shoulder blades on the inhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Bring it forward now. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and then exhale. Very good. Release the hands. You're going to inhale now, bring the shoulders up to the ears, and as you exhale through the mouth, exhaling all the baggage that you brought into your day. Okay? So inhale, lift it up. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Good. We'll work on our spine now. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, take the left fingers to the outside of the right knee. Right fingertips could be just below the right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, twist, looking over the right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. And then exhale, releasing all the blockages of the spine. Inhale, bring it up, arms come up. Let's do the other side. Again, inhale up, exhale, inhale, exhale, twist, inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Very good. Inhale, bring the arms up. On exhale, bring that energy back into the heart. Very good. Okay, let's work on our neck. So you're going to place your left fingertips on the floor. Inhale, take the right arm up. Bring it over to the left ear. Exhale, pull down. Keep the shoulders square. Really feel that nice stretch through the neck. Inhale there. Exhale, bring the right fingers to the temple, and exhale, gently adjust your head back up. Be gentle with yourself. Other side, right fingertips to the floor. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, bring it down. Nice, gentle stretch through the neck. Inhale, release. Fingertips to the temple. Exhale, gently bring your head back to center. Very good. So let's now come on to all fours. We'll work again on the spine. So you want your hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Inhale, curve the spine, look up, open up through the heart. Look up, look up. Exhale, bring your forehead towards your pelvis. Feel as though there's a string mid-spine pulling you up to the sky. We'll do one more of these. Inhale, curve, look up. Exhale. Good. Stretch through the spine. Very good. Now on all fours, we're going to work on our hips. We're going to do some rotations, making circles with the knees. Inhale, big circle. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and then exhale. Bring it forward. Inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, and then exhale. Very good. Let's do the other side. Rotate. Inhale, and then exhale. Bring it forward. Inhale, and then exhale. Now a really nice way to strengthen the spine and to release any lower back tension, place the right big toe over the left. Sit back as far as you possibly can so that your sit bones, if possible, are touching your heels. Extend the arms and bring your forehead to the floor. Let your upper body rest on your thighs and breathe here. You're lengthening through the spine. You're releasing through the lower back. Take some nice deep breaths. Awareness at the lower back. Also opening up gently the hips. You can also bring your hands by your ankles and allow your shoulders to gently melt around your knees. Wonderful. Take a nice deep breath in through the nostrils and come back to all fours. Now, before we go into our sun salutations, we're just going to stretch out our calves. So extend the right leg, toes tucked under, and then push down through the heels. It's important when you do these things that your core is engaged. You always want to engage the core. Bring the knee back, other side. Wonderful. So we'll tuck our toes under now and push back into downward facing dog. And then gently walk your feet up to your hands and come up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Rooted down through the soles of your feet. Allow your thighs to be engaged. Eventually your core engaged. Spine nice and strong, shoulders back. Wonderful. Last thing to come up is the head. Good. So now sun salutations. So come to the front of the mat and you want your feet facing forward. You can either have it hip distance so that your soles of your feet are directly underneath the hips, or some people can actually bring their feet together. If you can do that, that's fine too. First thing, we want to ground ourselves. So lift the toes up and then grip the mat so that the four corners of the feet are firmly planted into earth. This is a really good foundation. This is called Tadasana, and actually it's the most important pose in standing postures. So, because it's the foundation, okay? So your shoulders are over your hips and your head is floating between your shoulders. Place your palms facing forward in receptivity posture. Close your eyes for a few moments and acknowledge the support of earth beneath your feet. Good. Take a nice deep breath in. Now take the arms up into prayer and then exhale, bring it into the heart. We'll begin now. Inhale, arms go up, slight back bend, so you're opening up through the heart. Exhale, float down, hinging from the hips, let the heart lead you. Place your hands either on your calves, or if you can have them on the floor or on the earth, very good. Inhale now, lengthen through the spine, reach through the crown. And then exhale, hinge a little bit further. Your heart heading towards your thighs. On the next inhale, you'll take the right foot back and place the right knee on the floor. You want the left knee directly over the left ankle. Fingertips on the floor. Good, guys. Inhale, look up, open up through the heart. Give me a couple breaths here. You're stretching through your right thigh, through the groin. You're opening up through the heart. Good. Inhale. And then on the exhale, drop the right palm to the floor. Bring the left hand to the knee. Inhale now, lengthen through the spine, reach through the crown. Exhale, twist, looking over your left shoulder. Again, opening up through the heart. Inhale here, exhale, drop both palms to the floor and take the left foot back into downward facing dog. Spread the fingers wide, gripping the mat. Push through the palms of your hands, really stretching through the shoulders, opening up through the heart. And if you can't place the heels on the floor, you can bend the knee slightly, but you want the tailbone reaching up towards the sky. Inhale here now, take the right leg up and bring the foot in between the right hands. Drop the left knee. We're doing the exact same thing on the opposite side. Inhale, fingertips to the floor, open up through the heart. Watch your alignment. Knee needs to be over the ankle, so bring that foot forward. You could hurt yourself that way. Good. Bring it a little bit more for me. Good. And then open up through the heart. Good. Couple breaths here. Inhale here now. Exhale, place the left palm on the floor, right hand on the knee. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, reach through the crown. Exhale, twist. So with each breath, there's a movement. Take a couple breaths here. With each time, inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, twisting. Inhale here. Exhale, drop both palms to the floor. Bring the left leg towards the right. Inhale here. Lengthen through the spine. You can place your hands either on the calves or on the floor. Fingertips on the floor. Exhale, hinge from the hips again. Let the heart lead you. And then inhale, come up, strong core, coming all the way up, strong legs, arms back, slight back bend. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. How was that?
Oh, wonderful.
It feels really good.
It's almost like we forgot we have the rest of the work.
Right?
And I've never done it, and it's a mind, body, soul connection.
Yeah.
I know you've told us that a lot of times, but doing it now, you could actually see why it is that way. Especially at the start, having us close our eyes and doing those breaths. I actually went away, like, I know there was a truck in the background.
I didn't hear it.
For a while, it just came out. Like, serious business. This is good. Great.
Yeah, I'm really happy that you said that, because the experience of yoga is...
So let's just shift a little bit now, since we're not practicing, because the camera's here. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you said that, because the experience of yoga is really the ultimate goal. You can hear about it, you can read about it, but the experience really is what is the most powerful. So thank you so much for saying that. And well, thank you so much for having me.
Well, I gotta say, outdoor classes like these are fantastic, and especially the weather cooperated to make it even more beautiful.
Yeah, just a quick note, in Belmopan, Frida, one of my colleagues, she's holding yoga in the park every day. So if anybody's interested, contact Freedom Yoga in Belmopan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we know if you're in the Garden City, you've got the opportunity to check it out as well. All right?
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank
You didn't have to
you.
come too far, just that, outside your studio.
It was very convenient. Thank you.
Thank you, Drea, as well. Drea was here with us. Drea Renault, thank you for joining us this morning. Oh, Marlene, that was great, but I'll tell you what, every good thing must come to an end. We're going to take our final break in the morning, and when we come back, we will be wrapping things up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's almost lunchtime and Alice is getting hungry and forgot to bring cash. She remembers that eCash now has a geolocation feature in which she can easily view the eCash merchants near her, especially restaurants. Her co-workers also ask her to order food for them.
Chicken chow mein, please, and a Coke.
The merchant sends her the payment link. She taps confirm, and within a few minutes, her food is delivered. Alice then views her transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made. Then taps the split the bill button where she selects the unevenly option and moves the bar to the desired amount per person. The request is then sent to her friends. Her colleagues accept the request and are ready to enjoy their meals. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash make Alice's life a whole lot easier.
In these trying times, Smart is here to lessen the burden. Smart's reduced roaming rates save you while traveling. Calls back home are a low 35 cents per minute when visiting Canada, the US, and Mexico, or pay as low as 50 cents for calls when visiting countries in the Caribbean, Central, and South America. For the month of February and March, enjoy an unbelievable low rate of 30 cents per megabyte when roaming with mobile data in Canada, the US, Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean. Whether you are a business traveler, studying abroad, visiting loved ones, or just traveling for pleasure, Smart's new roaming rates have got you covered. Roaming in China, Europe, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean is as low as the cost of making a local call. It's that low. Smart's roaming coverage continues to grow, so you can also enjoy affordable roaming rates in several destinations across the globe. For more information on rates to other countries, visit our website or call 1090 for more details before you travel. Smart, bringing people together.
If you're looking for low-cost television advertising, have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
we're back.
Just like that, though, we've come to the end of our show for today. Beautiful weather, though, Marlene. Beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Loving every second of it, that much I could tell you. And this park is lovely. And we're so thankful to Creme de la Creme, who actually adopted.
They helped us out,
They helped us out this morning. We're right here enjoying the beautiful ambience of what Belize City have got to offer to us.
Yeah, we definitely want to say a big thank you to Creme de la Creme for offering us their space for this broadcast, and also that they have adopted the park to be able to upkeep and allow for restroom uses. You know, if you pass there on the weekend, I'm sure you see how crowded it is. It's a great family event. When they come out to the park, and we got to enjoy it on the early morning of March 9th. The only thing left is the kite.
The only thing left is the kite, indeed, and that's actually a part of Belizean culture. In the month of March, that's when everybody will be out flying their kites. We do hope that you could take your family and out and enjoy some kite making and some kite flying.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely.
But we've
gotta go. We've got to go. We want to say a big thank you to everybody who joined us this morning. Thank you so very much as you actually wake up. You open your eyes and you started your morning right with us. But if you've got questions, concerns, you can always drop us a line right here at oye@channel5belize.com.
You can also find us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ and on Instagram at OYE Belize.
Then you could join us tomorrow morning again when you open your eyes
to start your morning right.
And as per usual, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day, Belize.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.